What's up, guys? DCK here, bringing you another episode of TNAid. Total non-stop aid. Okay, whatever. Don't mind the noise. It's a freaking compressor. My dad's doing some construction in the hallway with my beautiful home. But yes, this is another episode of TNAid, and it is about creative. Yes, creative squad. Shoot, my door just popped open. 1 second, guys. Please leave a message at beep beep. I'm back. Whatever. Alright. I'm just gonna keep shooting this video. Whatever. I look really scrappy and I'm running around all over the place. I mean, I just walked away from the camera for a good 15 seconds right there. But whatever, because that's my style. So creative. Alright, I think we're just gonna start right with the Russo topic. You know, there are lots of people who try their best to defend the man himself, Vince Russo. I think it was worth giving him a chance, you know, that first year or so. But I think now that it's obvious that the TV product is ridiculous at times, like some episodes of Impact, actually a lot of episodes of Impact over the past couple of years have been fucking awful. It's just not a wrestling show, which doesn't make them any different. When it's obvious that, you know, Vince Russo's writing isn't gonna, not only is it not gonna make him any different from the WWE, it's not even gonna get him a good wrestling product in the first place. So I think, you know, Vince Russo, I think, you know, it was worth giving Vince Russo a chance, but I think he's had his chance, and he's gotta go. He just has to go. I mean, it's been almost 4 years since he's been back on the creative team, and you know, he wants to go. Let him go. It's obvious that you shouldn't be keeping a guy on a creative team for a pro wrestling show when he's ashamed to be in the pro wrestling business. Plain and simple. If you want your product to be any good, you want people in it who are, you know, who have pride in the business. For some odd reason, WWE is in its own little world of sports entertainment, so I don't really care what the fuck they do with their writers, as long as they're putting on matches, and they are putting on matches. You know, I don't really care, and I'll just watch. And when it comes to WWE, I watch the talent. I don't necessarily care about storylines. I don't necessarily care about what the WWE is pushing. It's more like, what are the people in the WWE doing that I like? Not what necessarily what the WWE as a whole is doing. So that's that. You know, but then with TNA, there's so many guys I like to see, but I don't want it to be the case where it's only because the only reason I'm watching is because of the guys. Honestly, the creative just needs to be better, and I think a way to be better is to be simpler, which Vince Russo just wasn't doing. Like I said, Vince Russo needs to go. He doesn't like writing for professional wrestling, so get him out of your company. Get people who actually like creating for the wrestling business and like helping with wrestling products. You have Raven back. Why the fuck he hasn't been on your creative team, I have no clue. And I think Tommy Dreamer can do exactly the same. Tommy Dreamer had a lot of experience doing some booking back in ECW. So did Raven. Scott Levy, whatever his name is. But yeah, those two guys, while you have them, I think Raven you can keep on longer, because I think Raven and TNA are still pretty close. Tommy Dreamer, for now, you can have him involved in this ECW invasion, which I don't really, I mean, it made for a good segment at the end of the last Impact, but overall, I just don't care for the angle, because I think it's way too late for it to be relevant. People are just too old too out of their prime to do it. Honestly, I think the best they have is Stevie Richards. Actually, I like Stevie Richards, but he's not, super duper athletic. Yeah. So that's why once this ECW whole deal's done, keep a guy like Raven on for creative. You got rid of Jim Cornette, which was fucking stupid. That's gonna bite you in the ass. Look at what he's doing with Ring of Honor, and look at you could see starting in last December, in episodes last December of the ROH on HDNet product changing a bit. I think the first episode that under the Jim Cornette reign was probably the best, my favorite episode of HDNet ever. That had the Briscoes Stenerico tag match and the world title 4-way with Aries Strong, Richards, Omega. Just 2 matches given time. Awesome. Good storyline development. Awesome. Plugging everything. Awesome. I think where you just see how bad TNA creative is mostly in its television presentation. I mean, yeah, it's just scrappy, man. I think Impacts are getting better as of late. I don't know why. I don't know why they're getting better when the product is such a mess overall right now. They don't know where they're going in a lot of areas. God, this thing's so damn wrinkly. Shit, man. Ugh. Stretch out, look buff. But yeah, Russo's gotta go. I'm just done with his television writing. It's basically a lesser version of WWE television, and WWE television is not the pinnacle of television. That shows you how bad it actually is. TNAid used to be as much of a wrestling show as it can. Jesus Christ, SmackDown does a better job of being a wrestling show than Impact. Because, you have a guy like, Michael Hayes, who is a very smart man in creating a wrestling show. And I believe, Raven could do that. I think Bischoff is real hit or miss for me. There's so much good stuff that Bischoff was behind in WCW, but of course that's overshadowed by a lot of shit that he did. Scott D'Amore, who's been in and out of creative, who's a big part of the knockouts, and was a big advocate of match quality. I think more than any other. You could see that with the knockouts in 08. Not only was he pushing the women with storylines, which they're doing now, kinda. I mean, they're giving the knockouts some good segments with the Wild Sarita and the Beautiful People debacle. They're giving them segments, but with Scott D'Amore, they got time and they got a chance to actually deliver good matches. So if they ever got Scott D'Amore back, that'd be good. It was nice to have him at least control a part of the show that people were really getting behind back in 08, when I think that was when TNA Products was spiraling down. But they still had a bright spot there in the knockouts with Scott D'Amore. So guys like Raven, Scott D'Amore should be on there, and Vince Russo should be gone. I think we've had enough of him. He just needs to be gone now. We gave him a shot. 4 years, and when you've been making bad impacts, or if you average all the impacts of the past 3 years or so, that is a subpar show. Just shows that are just annoying. Shows that just don't feel, with random gimmick matches, and that's probably going to be my next episode of TNAid, is gimmicks. Yes, I will get to that. But that's my ranting on creative and what should be happening there in TNA. DoubleCrossKing, stay classy, folks.